Знаете, по фотографиям. Если увидите нечто необычное, ни меня, ни Сарториуса, старайтесь, держите себя в руках.
That is not a thing to say. That's not something you want to hear. What the heck? What do you mean something else instead of y'all? Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie reaction and commentary. Today, we're going to be hopping into a film that I'm really excited for. We're just about to be wrapping up the sci-fi movie watch throughs. We've been on those for a good bit, and I gotta say, I've been loving it. I've been absolutely loving it ever since we went from Halloween themes to the sci-fi themes. It seems like there was like a really cool transition that kind of happened throughout that. So we're gonna be hopping into a film called Solaris. This is the 1972 one. And I'm just really hyped. I'm very, very hyped. We've seen this director's work before. Trying to remember what the film is called, but it's very good. It's very good. Here, I'm actually gonna look it up because I think it's actually worth getting to know, because this dude is no joke. Andrei Tarkovsky. Yeah. He is incredible. There's a lot of works on here that I really want to watch from him, but the film that we watched on the channel for the first time from him was Stalker, and I think Stalker was so brilliant for just so many ways. I recommend go checking out Stalker on the channel, and just my thoughts on it. I feel like it's very inspirational because he's an inspiring director. I would consider him to be a legend, and I haven't even seen all of his works. It's just that I've seen one of his works, and I can just tell the passion, the love, and just the context of a human being he is. He's a vast and very in-depth human. And you can tell that. You can sense that from his bodies of work. So I'm really excited to jump into Solaris, which is a sci-fi telling. Because in Stalker, there was not necessarily a sci-fi element, but there's surrealism. And surrealism can be also seen within sci-fi. So I'm excited to see where he decides to take, now that he has full control over a sci-fi element, and see where the story kind of goes on. As always, I appreciate the love and support that you guys give to this channel. If you want to be able to support it, the best way to do it is by checking out the Patreon, where you can get your copy of the film, sync it up with mine, and watch the uncut versions. You can also do the early access, as well as the voting polls, and a bunch of other things as well too. You can also support the channel by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do any of those things. Just sit back, relax, and get your popcorn and snacks as we hop into Solaris. And guys, if you want to be able to watch and hear all that I say about these films, maybe your favorite part isn't in the YouTube edit, no worries. You can check out the Patreon, sync up your copy of the film with mine, and you should be good to go from there. I'm really excited to jump into this. He's a director that I truly want to dive more into his work with. Based on a science fiction novel. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out that novel then. Already, you're just getting smacked in the face with a beautiful frame. Damn. I'm really looking forward to this film, y'all. The only hype I have to go off of it is just the hype of the director. Yeah, we're already hitting surrealism. But even everything that led up to that moment, just even the introduction of this character was just really, really cool. I love that we're just not told anything. We're just shown everything. That's a similar thing to, the last movie we watched on here, Stalker. I'm a huge fan of films starting off with not a lot of talking. I just lean more towards pictures that don't have a lot of dialogue because I just love seeing so much. Like my eyes already fill in the dialogue so much, my thoughts really.
Ты обещал поговорить с ним, я привез пленку. Собственно, ради этого я и приехал. Да. Ты не будешь против, если малый пробудет у вас?
This camera work reminds me of Kurosawa a little bit, actually. Just how people move in and out of different points of frames, you know?
В котором часу он летит?
For example, now that the guy's outside, there's a whole different frame that we can focus on. The composition is still it's still being studied, it's still being thought after, even while the camera's moving from one frame to another. Kurosawa does that, I think, the best. He's like the best that does that.
Конечно, нет. Это не был обычный туман. Как бы взвесь, по-моему, коллоидная и очень липкая.
I love the words that are being described, if just even the fog itself, you know? You could tell it comes from a novel, but
Высоту. Солнце я не
hearing it
видел,
is really, really
но в
interesting.
его направлении туман светился красным.
It said the fog glowed red in its direction. So are you in hell?
Нет, я же сказал, все было как из гипса, только в натуральную величину. Потом начало все трескаться, ломаться. Из расщелин...
I love that. I love that. I love how on point that was. As soon as he said, everything began to crack. He had the clinging of the tea. I love how this just gives an excuse to just go absolutely maddening with the visuals. Again, I love the feeling of surrealism. I feel like surrealism is such a strong point in my own art. So it's really, really cool seeing someone who's clearly extremely expert within that field take a crack on it with sci-fi.
Искусственно устанавливая такие границы, мы тем самым наносим удар по идее безграничности мышления и ограничивая движение.
I really love how this conversation is being portrayed within the characters, between how they think, how they personally feel, the pursuit of science, the delusion of it. It's a good conversation.
Слушай, Крис,
this feels like a movie that can really expand on itself. It just feels like we are tapping just the surface level. It feels like Chris, our character here, is going to see a lot of interesting things.
Простите, но я не сторонник познания любой ценой. Познание только тогда истинно, когда оно опирается на нравственность.
Knowledge is only valid when it's based in morality. That's crazy. That's wild. But then you have to ask yourself what that morality is.
приспособилась к таким, как ты, хотя это и стоило ей черти каких жертв. Ты что, ревнуешь его к тому, что он меня похоронит, а не ты?
Wow, there is a lot already that we are introduced to. The relationship, the weight of people's decisions, the fact that he's going up in outer space, which I figured through the other conversations. There's a lot of human element, there's a lot of existential element. It's really fascinating. This film feels good to watch.
Правда, он не был 4-метровым. Сейчас перед стартом ему не надо слишком думать об этом. Но там пусть вспомнит.
He said, listen, this is something that you don't have to focus on, but just keep in mind of the 4-meter tall naked baby. The sound design during this scene is going absolutely psycho mode right now. It's like someone has threw the Looney Tunes into like a blender that's in outer space going into a black hole. That's what it sounds like. Whew, that is a shot. I love that look. Damn. That is a cool shot. And then to have it kind of tilting because he's in outer space, that's awesome. I love the things, like just you know, the decorations on the foreground of this shot. It just makes that immersion that much better because we just have those things off to the side of the corner of the frame there. It's a tiny detail, but it does a lot. Creates a lot of space within the dimensions there.
Вы получили радиограмму?
Да. Да. Конечно.
I don't know, man. Something happened on the ship, bro. I mean, it also could be from the fact that it went from like 40 people to 3. So there's probably some form of isolation going on here.
Знаете, по фотографиям Если увидите нечто необычное, ни меня, ни Сарториуса, старайтесь, держите себя в руках.
That is not a thing to say. That's not something you want to hear. What the heck? What do you mean something else instead of y'all?
Шло. Это не важно. Вернее, Крис, этого не расскажешь.
What we're seeing here, at least what I've noticed, is there's this constant line of people saying they've been in a deep state of depression.
С тобой и со всеми остальными.
But that could be from a lot of things. It seems like there's specifically something that is causing it, though. And it could be cosmic.
Это единственный шанс на контакт с этим чудовищем. Другого выхода нет, Крис.
He said this is our only chance to make contact with this monster. See, the thing is, it might not be an actual monster. It could just be an entity. Or just something completely otherworldly. Like just energy itself.
Ваша поза нелепа. Ваше так называемое мужество бесчеловечно.
What is behind that door? What is going on?
Уходите.
Who the hell was that? Who the hell was that?
Ничего.
Послушай, Снаут.
I love that this entire take, I mean, it is a one take, but it feels like there's just been separate scenes because we literally just followed the camera rotating and pausing on a certain character and then rotating again, pausing on that. It's really cool. Like, again, it reminds me of something that, you know, Kurosawa would do.
Крис, знай, что это не безумие. Здесь скорее...
He said this is not madness. This has something to do with consciousness. Yeah, bro, you're losing it. You're losing it, man. Something within your consciousness is bringing this into reality. In a sense, it reminds me of Event Horizon. This dude's been sweating for like the entire film. This man's been under stress the entire film. I don't blame him. Something supernatural is definitely happening.
У меня такое чувство, как будто я что-то забыла. Я не могу понять.
But even this thing is being confused. It almost as if it doesn't know what it is or how it came to be. Unless this is all just a deception tactic from whatever this thing is. Here we go, part 2, Solaris. Things are getting weird, man. This thing has infiltrated your consciousness and is bringing things into actuality.
А кто приходил?
Она умерла 10 лет тому назад.
То, что ты видел, материализация твоего представления.
Okay, there we go. That is what seems to be happening. She materialized from his concept. But was she real? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a real entity then?
Другим прозондировал им наши мозги и извлек из них что-то вроде островков памяти.
Wow, that's crazy. That is insane. So when they hit the ocean with some type of gamma, it responded and retaliated by hitting them with something that they couldn't even see. And now it's like creating islands, pocket dimensions of their memories and bringing it into real life.
Дверь не в ту сторону, Харри.
That's crazy. I love that you can see the metal bending. Jeez, man, what the heck? She broke through the damn door. That would make sense now with that guy who, at the beginning of the film, said that he saw the child in real life when he came back. This thing can show us things that aren't even from our past. But again, it's like, are these things real?
У вас превосходный экземпляр.
Это моя жена.
Замечательно. Прекрасно.
Yeah, I can't even imagine 40 people on the ship experiencing this. No wonder it was probably mayhem. And no wonder people left. I'm surprised we didn't hear anything else about people's experiences. Man, this film opens up a lot of possibilities. Like, my mind is like, okay, what if, like, you were to procreate with your own imagination? What would become of that? Like, what would become of that? That's such a fascinating topic because they are real. Like, everyone is able to interact, see this thing. It's very much real. It feels pain, but it's not. I don't understand, but that is so cool. I think that's the point.
Аннигилятор. Уничтожаются только нейтринные системы.
He said, brother, we got to get rid of these things, man. I know they've invaded your soul and hijacked memories, but we got to annihilate these things.
Я все-таки не выдержал и отправился. Когда я пришел, она уже умерла.
Damn,
На руке был след
that's
от укола.
terrible. That's terrible. And that also explains the needle mark on her arm that we saw last time.
Наука. Чепуха. В этой ситуации одинаково беспомощны и посредственность, и гениальность.
He is not wrong about that. He is not wrong. You guys are dealing with something beyond the realms that of what you can even fathom.
Гостей, вы, кажется, так нас называете чем-то внешним, мешающим. А ведь это вы сами. Это ваша совесть.
She's saying that it is still part of you. You can try to put the blame on whatever this is, but at the end of the day, these guests are a part of you. It's part of your conscious.
Но я становлюсь человеком.
Wow, that's crazy to think of. She said that she is becoming a human being.
Не меньше, чем вы.
She says that she can feel just as deeply as him. This is fascinating. I never, like, there are ways that humanity has been approached, but this is the first I'm experiencing something like this. Because usually we use AI, we use more advanced technology, but this is like cosmic.
Имеет полное моральное право. А ты веришь в нашу миссию, Кельвин, а?
At this point, what is the mission? You know, what is the goal here? I feel like this threw the biggest wrench into their psychology, you know? How can you continue your work when your dead wife is very much alive? Looks like we're inside of her thoughts right now. Which again is very strange. It's like, how can this thing be having thoughts? I mean, I can get it from, you know, saying it out loud, but like scientifically, physically, how is this even happening? So I'm wondering if this is the actual sea. Now that we're getting a better look at it, I feel like this is the sea that is emitting this energy. And just the visuals with it, it definitely looked like some cosmic pool, man. Something is cosmic about that ocean. Man, that's a crazy shot. That is a crazy shot right there. Man. So what did she do? Did she just, like, try to take her life? Like, what was that?
Жуткое зрелище. никак не могу привыкнуть ко всему.
He's experienced it then. Yeah, it is kind of haunting seeing just anything being resurrected, but dear God, someone that close to you, who's already dead and who has died multiple times in this film, like that's not a loop you want to be in.
Нет, это не я. Это я.
This is also a first where this seems like it's almost like a horror film for the actual entities, more so than the humans, because they don't know what's happening to them. They're a product of the human's consciousness. I love how their faces blended together with that double exposure. It's a great theme for what the heck's happening here. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yep, he's gone, bruh. He is in a deep existential crisis.
Зачем ты нас обижаешь? Чего ты ждал? Почему не звонил?
Yeah, we're going all the way back at the beginning of this film where his father just said, you know, I wish that we talked more. It's crazy how that loop is just hitting all the way in this state of being, but because of the situation, it makes so much sense. I wonder if he's going to want to or learn to leave the station, you know? To maybe, you know, appreciate that moment of burying his father. Or being the one to bury his father.
Аннигиляция. Вспышка света и ветер.
Да.
Damn. It's so interesting that she was being the most human out of everyone. And she wasn't even human. She personally got annihilated herself. For the sake of saving him.
Не хочешь ли ты сказать, что он нас понял?
Ну уж, так сразу. Но зато у нас появилась надежда.
Wow. Man, this is so fascinating. This is crazy. The fact that this ocean is like an organism in itself. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's something ancient, something cosmic. Yeah, like it's indescribable. You know, you can't ask what or how. You just have to hope it understands. But the key thing is hope. I love the full circle moment right here. Seems like he came back to Earth. Welcome back, my friend. There's a lot of... This was an existential film. I don't even know where to even begin to break this down in the conclusion section. There's so much. Bro, what is this? What is this? There's something off with this. Wow, okay, yo, that's crazy. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. Holy crap, man. The islands, that's what they were talking about. How did it get him on there? How is this happening? So I guess he chose not to leave? Did he spawn there? Is he a figment of the island's imagination? That's crazy. Wow. Guys, that is Solaris. What the heck? All right, everybody, we just got done. Solaris from, you know, Andrei Tarkovsky, the man himself. Guys, this film rocked. This film rocked. Holy crap. Damn. Wow. Wow, I gotta look up the book to this as well, because I know this was adapted from a book. But yeah, this was such a deep dive into sci-fi, and honestly, one of the more complex sci-fi films that I've watched, the more complex ones, because we're not dealing with a cosmic entity. We don't even know what it is, right? We don't even know what this is. It almost just seems like it's just this thing that's just there in space. And apparently what this thing is doing, it was learning just as much as the humans were learning about the ocean, but the ocean was learning just as much as, from the humans. And what I suspect from that ending is the ocean being able to take up, enough data, basically, and the islands that were said to be popping up, these chunks of memory, it created figments of humans. He's not a real human. That's insane. I don't even know how to, what? I don't even know how to feel about that. We got like two endings there, where one, we're dealing with the fact that the not Chris is on this island for the rest of however long. I don't even know what life even is when you're a figment of an imagination from an organism that's not even human but has learned consciousness by studying it. That's insane. That sounds wild. I had to close my eyes saying that out loud, because it's hard to wrap my head around. But we do get hopefully a good ending, at least with the original Chris kind of understanding this whole journey being that of meaning, or finding meaning, and then and love amongst that meaning. What happens when your pursuit of science or your pursuit of study gets bombarded with your pursuit of love, right? And we had him deal with the grief and the pain and just the everything in between, with the rigor mortis, the resurrections of his wife who have died 10 years ago, because she was sad that he didn't love him anymore. So she took her own life with rat poison, or some type of poison. And just the whole arc of this entity that was made out of the consciousness of Chris, because of the ocean, and the slow processing of this thing's awareness is so fascinating. It's like one of the more fascinating things I've watched on screen, and how it was portrayed is just incredible. The acting all around was great, but her acting was off the charts. It was absolutely off the charts. Just coming to realization that you are not who you are. You're just a reflection of someone's memories of what you are, but you're very much real. You're very much in the same collective space. Other people can see you. You're very much alive. When people ask, the Turing tests, we watched a lot of sci-fi, but we watched, oh my God, what the heck? Ex Machina. We watched Ex Machina, and seeing whether or not AI can become human. Or are they capable of being human, sharing human experiences? This takes it to a whole other level, if I can be a little bit honest with you. This takes that and nukes it to oblivion, and it raises so many more questions, because what happens when your consciousness is the technology and it brings something into a very real physical life? What is that? Is that human? Or is that, of course that's completely something else, but they're feeling and witnessing and experiencing all the human elements, right? And you have this really unique connection between the people that are on this spaceship, on the Solaris, with the ocean that they're studying, and just the back and forthness. I love that this ocean isn't a figure of evil, right? it's kind of low-key however you want it to be. I mean, not necessarily true, but it's just as much responding to the scientists as much as the scientists are responding to Ed. And it's so fascinating. I think that just makes it that much more, I don't want to say creepier, because that gives an annotation of evil, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's just creepy, you know? It's just very, very creepy that something that can get plucked from your consciousness can get, you know, can get brought into real life. And not only that, it's its own entity. That's so fascinating. That is so ungodly fascinating. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this. I want to touch more on just like even the filmmaking as well too. I know there was a lot of philosophy involved, and I love that. That's why sci-fi is brilliant. And when you have a director like this dude, he's going to stretch it to its limits, right? Similar to like Kubrick. But I feel like Andre has such a... It's different. Obviously, you know, everybody's different, but he hits it differently. The filmmaking was very remnant of Akira Kurosawa's, you know, filmmaking. I love that, similar to even in Stalker, but even more so in this film, we leave certain frames and join into other frames. I know that modern filmmaking doesn't do this now because our attention spans are beyond gone at this point. But it's really, really incredible seeing, you know, the longer takes almost feel as though they've been sliced up. But that's just because of how good the camera's been moving. There's so much pre-thought that comes into that, and I try myself personally to engage with that style of filmmaking. I know it's an older style of filmmaking that comes from the fact that you're working with film and that you're, you know, you have to, you know, it's limited resources. So that's primarily where it came from. But, you know, like anything, if you are working within restrictions, you learn how to kind of adapt and grow roots between the cracks of the foundations, and ironically that leads to more creative, more powerful imagery, I feel. And I feel like Andre does such a phenomenal job. Tarkovsky does such a phenomenal job with that, where you're following this scene and the camera just has these tracking points. It's almost as if you have like a timeline of a scene and the camera has to be in certain points, but within those certain points there's compositions within that speak so much, and before you know it, you don't even you forget that you realize that this is an entire one take. You know, this isn't just several scenes put together, sliced together. This is one take, and what that does is that it creates this build-up that you don't feel or see often, because a lot of films don't do that as much. You know, it's difficult. It's a very difficult form of filmmaking. But it's one of the things that I personally really inspire to try and continue studying, continue practicing. You know, there's so many things that can come about that form and that approach of filmmaking, of moving the camera, that I think is very psychological and goes beyond that of just even the story that you're writing. It really works within the audience's perception, again, if they're open to it. You know, I know people's attention spans are nuked to oblivion now, but for me, it's really fascinating to watch, especially someone who's studying film. But, you know, as a lover of stories, it's really, really incredible to see the filmmaking play such a role in the pacing and the overall emotion of this film. It's really great. Guys, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm going to look up more information about this, but let me know how close I was to piecing together some of these things for the first time. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, so please let me know in the comment section below. Like always, stay healthy and stay hydrated, because we are just getting started.
Purple jacket, pocket full of weed.